That's illegal defense. In the NBA, in the 80s and 90s, you could not leave your man. So yes,
yes, you could. You had to commit to the double. If you didn't commit to the double and you were playing in no man's land in between your player and the person you're supposed to be guarding and somebody else's assignment, then that's considered playing zone. Zone was illegal back then. Continue, JJ.
More space now.
All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hope you all are having a good day so far. So I get on my computer and I'm like, all right, it's time to make a reaction video. I have no idea what I'm going to react to. And the very first thing I see, the very first video on my YouTube feed is from Uncut Hoops. And it's titled, "They Are Lying About Michael Jordan's Era." And yeah, I see on the on the first image, there's something, a still showing illegal defense, and I feel like I just got summoned. So I'm not even gonna look through the playlist today and see what's been requested of me. Today I feel like I've been summoned, and I'm gonna need to talk about this one. So let's go ahead and just do this, guys. I'm gonna link the original video from Uncut down below, like I always do. You'll also see a list of channel members. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you all. This is one of those that, like, when it comes to people talking about, you know, the rules, how things were, and trying to manipulate it into a way where it's just crazy to me. But to insist in ways that it was easier back then, that's where I get mad, okay? Like, you know, like, the rules are soft. I understand that. It is what it is. But when, like, you know, when the new generation comes at us and says, like, we had it easy, that's what pisses me off, man. Because you had no idea what it was like. Like, you know, I did that double reaction to why players dribble differently back in the day, and, like, come on, man, if that doesn't explain, you know, why we get upset about these things, I don't know what will, because the rules were extremely strict back then. Anyways, this is probably going to be covering the 90s, and before we get into this, I wanted to welcome new channel member. I don't know if it's Dougie or it's Doogie, so I'm just going to say Dougie Fresco 11. Hopefully I said that right, my friend, and welcome on board. I appreciate you guys. Let's get to this. Like the video if you could. Hype the video if you could. It's probably one of those where a hype would make a lot of sense, and let's see what this is all about, man. It's like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Here I am.
MJ fans love to talk about how good the defense was during the 90s, the toughness, the physicality, the hand checking, all those kind of things.
MJ fans see somebody like you, and we want to... Never mind. Uh-oh. I don't know, man. I'm just going to quote something from Mike Tyson, but it means nothing. There's nothing to do with anything I'm talking about right now or looking at or anything. But everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
But they want you to completely forget about illegal defense.
But what you couldn't have is one guy defending the ball handler and then other guys shading and basically waiting to see what he does.
That's illegal defense. In the NBA, in the 80s and 90s, you could not leave your man. So yes,
yes, you could. You had to commit to the double. If you didn't commit to the double and you were playing in no man's land in between your player and the person you're supposed to be guarding and somebody else's assignment, then that's considered playing zone. Zone was illegal back then. Continue, JJ.
More space now. There's also more help.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit.
Yep. Trust me, guys, I wouldn't lie about it. What I said, that's exactly how it was called, okay? You either leave your man and commit to a double, or you stay on your guy, you know, and keep an eye for the moment where you want to commit to the double. You do not stay in a no man's land in between and guard an area. You know how you have so many wide open shooters nowadays? That's because players are playing zone and are guarding areas. Therefore, it's not too hard to drive the ball down the middle of the lane, wait for all of that zone defense to collapse on you, and then dish it out to a wide open shooter. That didn't happen in the 90s, which made it harder to get a shot off, because man-to-man means you don't get much breathing room.
When discussing past eras in NBA history, really any era pre-2000, there's tons of myths, narratives, and outright lies about those decades spewed online constantly. And look at the 90s specifically, this era, unlike any decade, is attacked relentlessly by trolls, idiots, and people who, quite frankly, do not know basketball. And one of the most asinine myths narratives I see all the time is illegal defense in the 90s made scoring, getting buckets so much easier.
Yeah, that's why the scoring was so low. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
This right here cannot be further from the truth. As look at the so-called illegal defense rule, yes, in the books, it existed, it was a thing. But watching the games, looking at the film, illegal defense was called here and there, but it wasn't a constant hindrance to players playing defense, helping, or shading over to the ball handler to provide extra cover for the on-ball defender.
Yep, I remember when it first started getting called around the league. It was a little bit of an adjustment period for everybody, but once everyone figured out what the rules are, it was not a big deal. You know, like I said, the eye would be on the ball while the body is close to the guy you're defending, and that's it. You just have to make a decision in the moment. Do I commit to a double or do I stay with my guy? Stay at home. You know. And that's all the mental gymnastics that need to happen there. It's really not that complicated.
Because for many years, including the 80s and 90s, the NBA effectively made it illegal to play help defense.
Are you retarded?
Yeah, I mean, can we just say I don't think? Yeah, I don't think you play basketball. Do you ever play basketball? Have you? Tell the truth. So if the Young Bucks are insisting that there was like, what are they trying to say? There's no help defense, aka there's no double teams, because that's asinine. If they're gonna go there, that's probably why he got summoned today, because that's ridiculous. Yeah, roll the clips of Jordan getting quadruple teamed. Yep. See, eye on him. But you can see, okay, the mindset of a defender back then. So like I said before, eyes on the ball, but he's still in this zone, right? His guy's right here. He still is claiming that he's guarding his guy, and that's a fair claim. You can't dispute that. But he gets here. Here's where we can have a little bit of an argument. You know what I mean? Because he is strategically planted between where the ball is and where his guy is, Pax, right now. So this could technically be an illegal defense, but they didn't call it for this stuff because he still is guarding his guy. But you don't need to get right up in the face of a guy standing on the perimeter, because you can close that gap real fast, you know? Because it's not zone. This is still your assignment. You can close that gap within a second. Yep. Double. Triple. Quadruple.
The NBA effectively made it illegal to play help defense.
No.
Because they snuck in Chicago and got 2 scores when Ewing's come over to give help. See, he'll come over to give help on Michael on this shot.
There it is. Yeah, but you see, they committed to him. Help
on the boards. Right there's your man.
Triple team.
For the entire legal defense debate, tearing down the 90s, what it boils down to is tearing down Michael Jordan. As looking at Jordan's legacy, in a nutshell, he is the 90s and that era of NBA basketball.
Yeah.
So if you tear him down, make him look worse, the entire era follows and looks like garbage according to these people.
It's literally politics, and I hate it being in the game I love. Like, I'm not a political man. I don't like the games. I don't like the debates. I don't like the strategies. I think it's all in freaking just, it's disgusting. To me, it's the worst shit in the world. Like, it's the fact that this kind of stuff is bleeding into the sport and the game that I love drives me crazy to no end.
And one strategy I see being used over and over again.
It's all in bad faith. It's all in bad faith arguments. That's why no matter what, like, I try the hardest to just say the damn truth. You know, I'll give my opinion, but I'll just say what the truth is. I don't care. Like, I'm not like moving a goalpost or playing any of these political games. I just want people to understand the truth, and that we can all make our own damn decisions based on the truth. I'm frustrated with everybody else disguising the truth into some kind of narrative that they're trying to push. It drives me nuts, man. It's confusing the hell out of a lot of people, too. It's like the Jedi used to say, you know, the Jedi mind tricks only work on the weak-minded. Well, it turns out there's a lot of weak-minded people. I didn't know there were so many, but so many people believe all this nonsense.
Is cherry-pick clips and clips that are very, very specific. If illegal defense was so bad, so rampant, why are these people using the same
So they're showing one clip where Jordan was single covered, which happened very rarely. Like 1 out of 5 shots, he got single coverage. Okay. Well, roll back to 2011 NBA Finals and see how often LeBron got doubled, because he barely even got guarded by his own guy.
clip over and over and over again? Well, the obvious reason is legal defense wasn't that pervasive, but 2, these people are lazy and can't be bothered to do basic research or watch full games in their entirety. And looking at that Bulls Jazz clip with Shannon Anderson, yes, an ISO clip with no help defense.
Yeah, there's no big man down low, which is the real question. How did that get exploited there? Where's your big man? It looks like they're going small ball. It's so blurry. Is that Tony Kukoc up there, or is that Tony Kukoc up?
And can't be bothered to do basic research or watch full
No, that looks like Tony's footwork there, but that looks, I don't know.
games in their entirety. And
Oh,
look,
that's Bushler. Okay, so Tony needed to be down low. It looks like his man brought him out to the perimeter, so that was a smart ISO play right there.
looking at that Bulls Jazz clip with Shannon Anderson, yes, an ISO clip with no help defense. That
It
clip
looks like every play that we see nowadays, like every penetration play we see in the modern game, there's nobody waiting at the basket to block, unless Wemby's in the game.
is cherry-picked routinely from the 90s and the tough defense in that era. But looking at that play, that is the exception to the overall rule.
Back then, you see wild stuff like this. Like, imagine you had Shaq, Ben Wallace, Ben Simmons, and a Donald Foyle all up there. You literally could not help off. So MJ and the guys before 2001 essentially were going one-on-one.
He's a liar.
More like 1-on-4, buddy. What are you talking about?
I think they're going to go with the younger.
Why do people who don't watch any of the footage actually talk about it? Like, I'm sure there's something else you know. You know the topic well. Why not talk about that?
Your legs against Ewing, trying to cause some problems with that. Williams from Michael Jordan. Michael wants it in the post against
Double,
Winchester.
triple. I mean, double. My brain went back to the NES real quick. Double, dribble. If you know, you know. Yeah, here I meant double, triple, like double, triple team.
Here comes a big double team. Grant Mason got a hand on the ball. Their pace. Jordan with 21.
Yep. I see it. You're technically in no man's land here, buddy. And there's an argument for you, but you haven't committed, so that's okay. But yeah, this is a triple team waiting for him to make any move. If I'm MJ, I'm spinning here. Unless I want to go to the free throw line, then I'm going right through them and daring them not to foul me, because they're all going to collapse on him. Guarantee you, whatever's coming next, they're all collapsing on him if he goes to his left shoulder.
For more.
Oh, good read.
Pippen from behind Purdue. See how much longer before Pat Riley comes back with Xavier McDaniel.
Yep, I was just about to pause it uncut. There it is. Yep, we got a triple. We got a triple on you with a fourth guy waiting. All eyes on you. Let's go. You gonna make a pass right here?
Kiki Vandeweghe. Jordan with the feed
Because you're MJ. You're smarter than that.
In a modern game today, there would be 4 other players in help side zoning off of their guys, making
So they piggybacked one clip, huh? That's what's going on? There's one clip out there that looks like this, which is not. This is obviously, guys, if you watch 90s hoops, this is not your typical situation here. What is actually going on here? I can't explain this. I can't explain what's happening in this play, because this is not something you would typically see whatsoever. So you got one play in the NBA Finals, it looks like. One play. And you're gonna define an entire 10 years based off of that. And this doesn't even accurately define what was going on in the era. Like, at least, you know, if I showcase something from 2026 of like a possession, or like say a 30-second run where you see like 3 3-pointers shot in 30 seconds, I guarantee you're going to see that almost every single game. This is a one-off in 10 years, a one single play in one single game in a decade. And you're gonna say, yeah, this is what I did. You could have double teamed back there. Blah, 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 blah. Shit.
1-on-5, which created a premium on shooting. So while Jordan was amazing at 1-on-1, this rule change made it almost impossible to do that. And
while Jordan was good at 1-on-1, he was quadruple teamed. He was quadruple teamed almost his whole career. So 1-on-4 would be more accurate if you want to be fair.
while his Bulls teams are legendary, most of his teammates weren't known for shooting. And if you watch a modern game, you know how they guard non-shooters.
Yeah, do you see how that guy's wide open? Oops. Do you see how he's wide open? It's because, yeah, like I said earlier in the video, if you're guarding zones and you're not guarding a man, you know, you're not committing to your player. This happens all the time. Watch a game next season. Just watch one game if you want to see it. You will see this wide open shot from there, or here, or here, or here, about 100 times per game. Why? Because the zone.
That's the whole point.
So, stopping that right there very quickly, this guy unironically makes a massive point in Jordan's favor. In today's league, he would be even better. At the end of that clip, he brings the Bulls spacing and lack of three-point shooting.
I know.
This right here.
And can you imagine if all Jordan had to do was play the zone and he had, you know, to penetrate into that zone trap, and he's got 3 shooters waiting wide open on the perimeter? Could you imagine how many assists MJ would have?
Feather in Jordan's cap. And despite bad spacing, you know, very, very few shooters around him, this guy routinely was averaging 30 points per game in that era.
Yep.
Get in the middle, so you see him push him, and look at Ewing. Here he comes to meet him, so they're playing really a zone.
What did you just
Yeah.
say?
And look at Ewing. Here he comes to meet him, so they're playing really a zone. The foul was called, but you can see the philosophy. Do not let Michael get in the heart of the defense where he can find people. Patrick Ewing is going to be the plugger. He's going to come in there and either block shots or cause you to change your shot around the basket.
Yep. It's literally weak side help is what it is. But with Michael Jordan, it's not one weak side helper. You've got 3 weak side helpers coming over to you. Okay, that's the damn truth. I don't want to hear anything else. Like, that's literally what it is. And before the Knicks were doing it and anybody else were doing it, guess who was doing it? The Pistons were doing it to MJ. Anytime you come close to the basket, they're gonna attack you. I mean, if you really think about it, that's the same strategy that was used against LeBron in his first finals against San Antonio. The same exact thing. The only difference was that dares you to become a jump shooter, and he didn't have that in his game, so he was ineffective. But with Jordan, he could keep going down to the middle of the basket. They're going to hit you every time because there's 4 bodies on you. They're bringing you to the ground. It's just a matter of how durable you are. Can you keep dealing with that punishment and go into the free throw line? Or are you going to turn into a jump shooter? Thankfully, MJ had both tricks up his bag. But yeah, I don't know what my tangent was about anymore. This is as dumb as, like, Michael Jordan can't go left. Like, this is like the dumbest thing I've heard since then. And I can't believe this is a topic that's rolling around in the basketball sphere right now.
When you watch Michael Jordan's 1990s tape, how teams guarded the Bulls, how they guarded MJ, here's a couple things you see routinely looking at the entire decade. First and foremost, full committing double teams, selling to stop Jordan, making for the ball. That happens a ton.
Yep, there. Okay, so what's that called? If that's not weak side, I'm not talking Uncut. Uncut obviously knows what he's talking about. But if that's not a double team or weak side help, what is this? What is this?
But looking past the primary
What's
defender
that called?
and that secondary help defender, what you're going to see all the time is that
What's
guy.
this called? What's this? What's this? Come on, man. Why did the guy do a lick of research? And then all the people who are like, who are promoting the video and like watching it and liking it and commenting on it, why doesn't any of them do a lick of research? Like, why is this getting traction?
Hedging over, shading over, basically splitting the distance when him and Jordan have extra help on the perimeter.
I'll tell you, when it comes to YouTube or whatever, like, it doesn't pay to be honest. I'll tell you, I know exactly why they're doing it. They're doing it to just, like, to blow up the internet, and then they're getting all the views and they're getting paid a lot of money. It does not pay to be honest, my friends, but it's the only way I know how to be, man. I can't sit around and lie and then just like look at my bank account and be like, ha ha, ha suckers.
And beyond that, guys like Ewing opening the paint, ready to block Jordan's shot, or at least foul him very, very hard. Michael versus Knicks defense basically has 3 levels he has to go to. The initial defender, the help defender.
Yep, I know, okay. Primary, yep. You go to your left, I got you. You go to your right, I got you. They're all ready. Look at their eyes.
The guy at the rim. That right there is a tall task for any offensive player. But like I said earlier, Michael Jordan versus this Knicks team dominated them routinely in the postseason when it mattered most. And here's one thing I do want to highlight. Look at today's big men versus big men of the past. Centers back in the 90s had one rule that helped them tremendously on defense.
Yep.
The fact there was no 3 seconds to be in the paint for as long as you want. Today's players, small ball centers, legit 5 men, cannot be in the paint for more than 3 seconds at a time. That in today's NBA what it does is eliminates real zones and nerfs even the best rim protectors.
But what you couldn't have is one guy defending the ball handler and then other guys shading and basically waiting to see what he does.
What are you?
Yeah, you're a freaking idiot sandwich.
An idiot sandwich.
So if you were a defense, you either had to hard commit to a double or leave their best player one-on-one in isolation.
Turnovers every time, too. Of course, 4-point turnarounds, you might say.
But what you couldn't have is one guy defending the ball handler and then other guys shading and basically waiting. So if you were a defense, you either had to hard commit to a double or leave their best player one-on-one in isolation.
You don't have to hard commit. Okay. And define hard commit. How long is that duration? Because you're going to see right here, he's going to do what you can define as like a 1 second hard commit.
Other guys shading and basically waiting.
Commit, okay. And then he stopped him, right? He stopped him with that double. Now he's got to get back to his, to the area of his own guy.
So if you...
And he doesn't even do it. Yeah, he didn't even do it there.
If you were a defense, you either had to hard commit to a double or leave their best player one-on-one in isolation.
11 points, 8 rebounds for Anthony Mason. Tennessee State.
Yeah, look at this.
Jordan kicks it to Armstrong. None, and that was a real exciting game on Tuesday night. Don't want to miss it. On TNT.
If my number's right, if Michael Jordan had 21 the first half,
Have a foul to give inside the 2 minutes. They've committed only 3.
how about this match? Got fanned away.
Here's an example of illegal defense being called back in the late 80s. Celtics player reaches in without committing, and it's a foul.
Wait, yeah, that looked like a defensive foul on the shot because of the body contact, right? I mean, I don't know this play specifically or anything. I'm just
Celtics player reaches in without.
Yeah, man, that's 2 free throws. I think that's just a defensive foul on the layup by MJ. Does it go in? Does it go in? That's yeah, MJ. Put it away, MJ. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, dude. It looks so obvious. I mean, guys, anybody watch this play live? Like, I thought there was some trick in here, but like, did anybody watch this play and go illegal defense? I'll just please be honest. Put it in the comments. Did you look at this and go, "Oh, that was an illegal defense call"? Like, here, I'm gonna mute this fool because he doesn't know what he's talking about, and now just watch the footage. What do you think was called there, man? Oh man, man. I'm frozen in time right now. Like, I don't even know. I don't have the willpower to continue with this one. Like, this is rough. Like, why are these guys talking about the game of basketball? That's what I want to know. Like, the average person in my comment section knows 100 times more than these guys about basketball. Y'all should start channels. And that's not even, like, being said in jest. A lot of you should start channels. Like, you guys know what you're talking about. These guys, man, all they have is
Celtics player reaches in without.
Yeah, what reach-in?
You can think about it in almost a football sense that if you beat the corner, there's no safety to help behind.
It's the opposite. You're describing modern ball. There's no one there waiting at the basket if you blow by your guy. Nowadays, yes. Wemby's the only one shaking that up a little bit. Sitting at home under the rim a little more than we see anybody else in a modern game doing. So we're starting to get some contention there, but we haven't for a long time, and no other team is doing it. 90s ball, the center stays at home. He's protecting the base.
Football sense that if you beat the corner, there's no safety to help behind.
This is hard. This hurts. This hurts. I'm like halfway through this video.
Think about it in almost a football sense that if you beat the corner, there's no safety to help behind.
Two waiting for you, two safeties.
If you think zone defense in the 90s wasn't a thing, it wasn't allowed, you in fact are wrong and only look at the rule book, not watching the film. And even look at today's game, due to the 3-second rule, they're not real zones. And players today abuse that constantly. Case in point with someone like Luka. And for Luka Doncic, what does he do over and over again for small ball lineups and small ball fives? He mismatch hunts, put in the pick and roll, and glides the lane for easy twos.
I mean, just remember what we were watching and how little space everybody had. Look how much breathing room we have now. Look, wide open shooter, wide open shooter, wide open shooter. Like, nothing's even started. The play hasn't even really started yet. He's just flirting with the idea to drive. And you have this much breathing room as shooters. You imagine Michael Jordan being planted into this game right now and the amount of attention he would command with his quadruple teams, and everyone is just sitting there wide open and no defender has to commit to their man. They just get to stay in no man's land all day waiting to quadruple team MJ. Everybody would be eating on MJ's team.
Looking at Luka this play, I mean, it's barbecue chicken at 5 miles an hour. And once he gets the switch, at the rim, little or no resistance. This play versus
And if
Jazz,
he didn't want it, Dalton Connect was wide open right next to him.
Almost the exact same thing. Utah is so worried about the shooters, they all stick to the man, and Luka gets an easy blow-by to the basket. 2 points.
Did you see that rim protection? That was great. It looked like prime Shaq down there.
Tested. If you watch Luka Doncic the Elite Scores Days game, that happens routinely. Back in the 1990s, yes, you had great shooters, but last thing put on the floor weren't shooting lineups, offensive first lineups. Today, that's the exact opposite. And who's that benefit most? Your SGAs, Brunsons, Luka Doncic's, who offensively are wizards.
The basic essence of the rules was that defenders weren't allowed to play zone. They either had to stick to guarding their man or do the complete opposite and fully commit to double teaming.
As such, we're
Yeah, we officially, I could just hear the tone of the voice and the youth in that voice. We need some more old heads. We need some more old heads in the YouTube game, you guys. Anybody who's been thinking about it, flirting with the idea, guys, get like a $200 laptop. Like, that's what I started on. Just like the cheapest piece of crap laptop. Get a $20 USB microphone, and the software's free. Get OBS. Get OBS software. Just look it up. Get on here, you guys. We need more. If people are going to be talking about the old game, it should be the people who were alive back then when the old game was being played. We don't need 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds telling us the way the game was played in our generation. And you know what? That's our fault too, because we're not here. We need more of us on YouTube.
both teams to get out and play good, solid defense.
10 to shoot for the Bulls. Paxson. Action Jackson.
Yeah, you see that sag off by Paxson?
To Patrick Ewing, way away from the basket. He was successful with this shot in game one. McDaniel, big offense.
Yeah, Jordan was in no man land there.
In game number one. When they did.
They either had to stick to guarding their man or do the complete opposite and fully commit to double.
What the youth doesn't understand is back then, that definition was very uncertain. Because right now, who's to say MJ's not guarding his guy? You know? You don't have to face up on him. That's not a rule. So right now, really, okay. Here's how we were taught. I'm gonna cut through the BS. Here's how we were taught, like when we were playing officially. Okay, in the 90s, well, and the 80s too, by the way. But like especially in the 90s, what we were taught: be closer to the guy you're assigned to than you are to the guy that you're shadowing or whatever, or you're flirting with the idea of doubling. Okay, do not cross that. Okay, so you see that would be around here. Right? Around this line. So the rules that the coaches would always teach us was do not cross to this side of the line unless you're going to commit, okay? Because at that point, you cannot argue that, yeah, I'm still guarding my guy when you're actually closer to another one. You know what I mean? So like what Jordan's doing right here, this makes perfect sense. I'm closer to you than I am to you. You can, and there's no rules to say you have to be like 3 feet, you know, within the presence of your assignment. Nothing like that. So the thing is, MJ, you cross this line, you usually have to go and commit. But you can. The funny thing is, you can run in real quick, do like a little fake out commit, and then bounce your ass right back to your guy. You know what I mean? So it's a lot more zony than you think. But instead of being able to just stand in these dead zones like they do now, you had to be on the move. You couldn't just plant yourself. And you'd see that these guys are planting, but they're doing it only for a couple of seconds, and then they're back on the move.
The Knicks handled it very well, particularly Anthony Mason off the bench. Ewing,
the way this play went, the double actually came to Jordan. Or the assignment came to Jordan. You know what I mean? So at that point, he's there. Like this is his now. This is his assignment. He's committed to a double. And if say Patrick would have been able to pass the ball if somebody was over here, even though they're not, like right there in the corner, then MJ would have to just step, and back into the zone of his guy.
Anthony Mason off the bench. Ewing. Oops. 8:38 to go in the first quarter. Low-scoring game. 2.5 minutes gone. Only 6 points scored.
So yeah. So anyways, the youth is trying to make it sound very simple, like it's by the book, but it's not. Okay. Just like nowadays, there's a lot of rules that are not being enforced properly. You know, there was a little leeway back then, but on different things, and like this was hard to define. So that's why. It wasn't because the refs weren't trying. They were trying to enforce this, but it was a hard one to do.
So stopping that right there very quickly, that was the opening 4 minutes, Knicks vs. Bulls, 1992, Game 2 in Chicago. Look at the opening 4 minutes, what'd you notice routinely? Tons of possessions that technically were illegal defense. But what happened? They were uncalled. If you called illegal defense every play, the game would be 5 hours long. That right there is the overall point. Did the rules exist in the book? Of course they did. But was it called every single time? Absolutely not. And looking at game 2, actually, was it called a single time the entire ball
game?
See
that commit? See? He had to make that split-second decision, and he did a full commit.
Look at this right here. The 1990s era, the paint is so packed, so clogged. For a driver like Jordan, I mean, so difficult. When MJ catches the ball, what is he looking at? A packed paint, 3-4 guys, nowhere to go. Today, the exact opposite. Someone like Luka, a scoring champion, looks at the basket at the rim.
Jesus, yeah. I remember I had a run like a year ago where every video that I saw that had anything to do with the modern game, I would just like circle the paint and I just look at this. Look at this. You blow by one guy. Bang. Like, how easy is this?
There might be one guy there, a lot of times nobody there, and the guy guarding him, he can easily blow by.
Yeah, well, I mean, even at, say Russ is here, and he's one of the more aggressive defenders in the NBA. Like, he knows if I touch him, it's a foul, so why bother? You know what I mean? So even if you did have somebody at home right now protecting base, they're not gonna, because they're gonna get in foul trouble so fast.
shot is largely uncontested. For Michael Jordan, like I said earlier, 3 levels of defense, the on-ball, the help, and the guy at the rim protecting the basket.
Gauntlet.
Even if illegal defense was called every single time, those layers of defense in the 90s, much tougher than today for a one-on-one player.
Chicago 16-2 at this point in the ballgame.
Boy, they're really working to get Michael the ball in the post.
8 seconds to shoot.
Yep. He thought about it. He thought about it.
First quarter. Jordan against Starks.
Yep. I see him.
They either had to stick to guarding their man or do the complete opposite and fully commit to double teaming.
Again, force differential at height.
Going into the post.
Blocked by Oakley.
Be one of those emotional letdown games and get blown out. They have not done that.
Paxson was left alone by Anthony.
We talked a little bit about fatigue, and you know, Michael's a superbly conditioned
Yeah.
athlete, but he really expended a lot of energy in the first part of this ball game, getting his team off to a good start.
For this Game 2 film study look in the Knicks defense, it's very revealing. As looking at their paint defense and perimeter defense, when Mike has the ball, what do you see happening routinely? All eyes on Jordan, with shading to his side.
Just look at all this. Look at all this gravity.
Helping over to his side. And when Jordan makes a move, draws a double team, what also happens...
Look at this.
Time and time again, his teammates and shooters get wide open shots. If Mike played today with better shooting lineups, I'm telling you guys, averaging a triple-double is not out of reach. This guy as a passer is highly underrated, and the reads he made were the right reads nearly every time.
Not only would he have 10 assists a game, but his shooting percentage would probably be like 75%, because 90% of his shots are going to be right at the rim. Imagine 80s Jordan, okay? 80s Jordan never would have had to change. He would have just kept attacking the basket every single play. Why adjust the game at that point? You got an easy dunk every freaking play.
And look at this Bulls
team. And you foul him, he's a great free throw shooter, so good luck with that. And if you trap him and you do defend the basket, he's got 3 shooters to pick from out there, maybe even 4.
Was average at best, even for that era. MJ3's taken 2 per game, the most on the team. John Paxson, 1.2, more mid-range guy. Pippen, 1.1, 25%. BJ under 1, 30%. Horace, 0.1. And Scott Williams Cartwright at 0 per game. The overall space in that lineup is piss poor even for 1990 standards. MJ still routinely got dirty versus the Knicks like it was nothing. If you put this guy in Luka offense,
I mean, just the contrast, guys, between what we just watched and this. Like, look at this.
You space the floor, let them go one-on-one hunt mismatches.
Luka is slow like a turtle, okay? Like, I think we could, whether you like him or you don't like him, I think we can all agree that he is slow, man. Slow on his feet. Look at this.
Defense has no answer. The Knicks play 1-on-5.
So you want to tell me, if this guy, slow like a turtle, can blow by his defender and nobody is there to help him. Nobody is helping. What would a prime Jordan do? Forget Jordan for a while. What would a prime Dominique Wilkins do? A Clyde Drexler? Any of these dudes? Like they would annihilate this game.
Couldn't stop MJ.
Imagine Vince Carter being thrown into this.
Neymar in there with the space and the weak foul calls. MJ would be untouchable, do whatever he wanted.
Defensive rotations by both teams. Both of these teams do an excellent job of trapping and rotating or pre-rotating. And are they
pre-rotating? You see, these are the gray areas we were able to play with. Like I said, if you're closer to your man than you are to the double, you're okay. You're in a safe zone. I didn't know we didn't have a term for it back then, but yeah, what did he say? Mike, what'd you say?
These teams do an excellent job of trapping and rotating or pre-rotating.
Pre-rotating, yes. That would be what that is. It's almost like if you're stealing a base in baseball and you're just, you're doing that lead off or whatever that term is. You're flirting with it. You're closing the gap a little bit, but you're not fully committing to the run to steal the base, but you're flirting with the idea.
And are they legal or illegal? Darryl, after viewing films of their last series, felt that both these teams do a great job of getting where they're supposed to be and being legal defensively.
And away, good defensive positioning against Pippen, who's going to distract.
I don't know if you're watching, but I'm watching Patrick Ewing right now.
Again.
Well, Ewing's going to come over and give help on Scotty.
What did you just say?
Well, Ewing's going to come over and give help on Scotty if he tries to post him, so be aware of Ewing.
I want the sexy body, but I'd also want tacos.
The idea teams today running zone defense will make Jordan lose his mind, be a shell of himself, that's patently false and just outright insanity. Looking at NBA teams nowadays running zone defense, it happens 4 to 5% on average across all 30 teams. That percentage is dangerously low. My overall point being, beating a zone defense is not hard and it's not rocket science. And look in the 90s, if we're going to talk playing a real zone, teams back then actually played more of a real zone than teams today. Because of course, was the one rule that had to be altered in 2002. The 3-second rule, camping in the paint. Guys in the past could camp there all day long. And for drivers, shooters, attacking the paint, that was a big time to come.
Watch some footage of Lakers Shaq. If you want some blatant evidence of a center camping at home.
For guys nowadays that admit it openly, 3-second rule's a godsend they abuse over and over again. Because of course that paint presence cannot be there 24/7, stalking the paint, and waiting for you to attack.
And honestly, that's how I love the game. Like I love the last line of defense when someone is driving to the bucket being the biggest, strongest, baddest dude on the other team. What else would it be? Basketball and sports are usually like war and battles simulations in a friendly, peaceful, competitive way. And this is no different. The goal is the base, So you're supposed to protect the goal at all costs. The last line of defense should be your strongest unit, Before that, you're sending out your scouts to defend and all your weaker units. But the last one is that final boss. That final boss needs to be the biggest, strongest dude on the other team. That's why centers back in the 90s were muscle-bound freaks, And then you got to Shaq, who really defined the role. That was the ultimate body in that role.
So that right there is in the video, and I'll say one last thing. If you think Michael Jordan's era, you couldn't double team, couldn't triple team, you couldn't play quote-unquote zone defenses, you in fact have been fooled and bamboozled. As looking at the tape, it simply does not lie. Teams back then played zone defense, but they hit it a certain
Not
degree.
only that, you see so much less double teams now that you got one of the most deadly scorers of all time, Kevin Durant, who doesn't know how to deal with the double team because he never sees it. He never had to deal with it. Why? Zone. You know what I mean? And it's once again, if there was some validity to what these guys were saying, fine. I'd humor it and I'd say I'd give you my perspective on what's being said. However, this is literally a case of we're going to take what's bad about today's game and pretend like that's what the problem was 30 years ago and discredit the 90s. No, you're describing what's wrong with the modern game. This is a cheap ass strategy.
And looking at the refs, they call illegal defense every single time. The games would never end. The majority of times you could skirt past it, still play zone, help off your man, and there'd be no call. And after the 90s, they went on a hammer home. Illegal defense wasn't the rule book, but rarely was ever called. If you think 1 call per game, 2 calls per game makes a big time difference, I simply disagree. Watching the tape, looking at the film, Jordan played.
And it's one of those things I kind of forgot until I started watching the old footage again from the 90s. And yes, they'll call it 1 to 3 times a game. And I really think it's because it was still they were trying to figure this rule out. And once in a while, they needed to call it just so the players are just to remind you guys, we are watching for this. Kind of in the mid 90s when Allen Iverson started palming, he was palming like crazy. They wouldn't call it all the time, but every couple of games, they'd call Allen Iverson for palming. Why? Just to remind him. Don't push this too far. We are watching you, and he would get very frustrated because he's like, I do the same move all the time. Yeah, but That's because you were getting away with it. You know, like it's just a reminder. Yo, you're getting away with it. Don't push our limits.
We're relentless every single night. The initial defender, the help defender, the guy in the paint waiting for him to go up for a shot in the paint. Today's players, the majority nights, is basically one layer of defense, beat your man, and you're at the cup. If you're going to discuss Jordan's era and indict on the entire
No, we've got the
era,
same lingo, man. Yeah, now it's a single layer of defense. You get past your guy, and you got a clear path to the lane. Back then, it was 3 layers of defense. And that even bled into, like, the 2000s. It just died in the last, like, 15 years. But 15, 16 years. But that's what it always used to be. 3 lines of defense, 3 layers. It was a gauntlet.
You can't cherry pick clips, pull out of context quotes that benefit your argument, no exceptions
And
to
it looks
overall
like they
rule.
only did, like, 2 clips.
If you watch the film, watch full games, not clips here and there. What you're going to see over and over again is very tough defense and 3 layers of defense. And guess what happened? More times than not, he got buckets and dominated like no play before him or since. Long story short, Mike in any era, illegal defense, zones or not, would kill it like you wouldn't believe. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.
Great video. Way to debunk that crap. Like, just fantastic job as usual. Uncut, man. Very, very impressed. Like, you nailed it. Everybody watching who's still here, man. I'm sorry. I got a little heated on this one. Like, not even just like heated, just like frustrated. I'm tired of the games, the manipulation, you know, the all these political strategies and stuff being in everything, in all kinds of, in everything in the world. We're talking basketball here, and these kind of games are being played in here too, and it's just driving me crazy, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I'm here for the truth. That's it. And Uncut, you did a great job of revealing what the actual truth is, what it actually looked like. I did my best to reinforce you by voice, and I don't know what else to say on the topic. This one burnt me out. That like this is what people are. Why? Here's the question. When you ask the question, why are they doing this, and then you come up with the answer, that's what drives me nuts. That's what pisses me off. Because why? Why make this stuff up about an era they didn't live in? To try to find a way to prove that it was weaker than it is now. So in their minds, they can say, we're bigger, stronger, faster, and we're all so much better than you guys were. Guys, I get it. Like, I get that each generation, at least I'll speak for men, because I'm a male, but like, you know, for each generation of men, we're always trying to surpass the previous generation. I get it. That's natural. But guys, you're supposed to actually do it. You don't just manipulate history and change reality to find a way to discredit the past and the previous generation so that you can feel better about yourself and say, hey, look how much better I am. Dude, that's not how it works. You actually have to do the work and be better. Look at a guy like Michael Jordan. No excuses. He did what it took to surpass everybody before him. Okay? And even after he did it, still to this day, he refuses to admit that he did it. He always gives flowers and respect to the previous generations, because if it wasn't for them paving the way, the Michael Jordan we know would not exist. Then the Kobe wouldn't exist. And then the atrocity of freaking LeBron James wouldn't exist too. You know? It has to, there's a history behind this and a stepping stone, you know? It's one more notch up on the ladder each generation. And that's how it goes. This is the first time this generation is completely disrespecting the previous generations. Because, you know, like, I know it was hard for a lot of people, like the boomer generation, to admit that Wilt Chamberlain, I think he's been surpassed by a guy named Michael Jordan. It took them a while to get there, but they were able to do it, you know? And in turn, we respected them for it. What's going on now? I can't understand it. Like, it seems like they're so desperate to have their Jordan, you know? Because we had that, and it was special. But they're so desperate to have their version of this. And unfortunately for them, their version seems to be LeBron James. and they're doing everything possible to try to convince the world that, yeah, no, everything in Jordan's era was weak. He couldn't go left. He couldn't shoot threes. His competition was weak. Scottie Pippen is better than Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and all these guys combined. That's what they want you to believe. And it's horse crap. Why? Simply, I don't get it. If I was a huge fan of somebody and he didn't get it done, like, why are you trying to convince the world that that guy is better than everybody else? Why? What do you get out of it? Are you getting paid for it? I understand the people who are signed under Clutch, they're getting paid for this, you know? And probably a good chunk of money in the media they're getting paid to say these ridiculous things. You average person on YouTube, what are you getting out of this? I don't understand. Anyways, I'm out of here. Hopefully there's going to be some more old heads like me who get in on this game on YouTube. And you know, whether it's, you know, I don't know if this crap is going on in other sports, but it definitely is in basketball, and that's my world. And so you get, any of you guys know the game of basketball well enough to talk about it, well enough to remember it, and, you know, willing to be honest about it, I'd say get a YouTube account. It's free. Just upload some videos, man. It's not that hard. The beauty about YouTube is if you want to learn how to make a YouTube video, watch a YouTube video about how to do it. So, I mean, that's it. Anyways, guys, yeah, we need some more honest voices in this realm. So, with that, I'm out of here. Like the vid if you could. I'd appreciate it. Once again, sorry for going off the wall on this one. It's just, it really frustrates me. So I'm out of here, guys. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Hype it if you think it's worthy. Downvote it if you think it sucks. Whatever, man. It's all good. And be water, my friends. Just be honest.